Securities and Exchange Commission yesterday filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk, asking the judge, among many other things, to remove him as the CEO of Tesla. And today there is a report saying that there was a deal on the table and Elon Musk decided to pull out of it very last second. I'll tell you what the deal was, why he decided to actually pull out of it, some of the reactions of the stock market and analysts, but there is actually good news behind all of this, because and has to do with Model 3 production. Unfortunately, it's going to take a back seat to all of this SEC drama probably for a while. But I'll tell you what's going on there. We're only a couple of days away from the end of this quarter. There's some news on the extended new new battery for BMW i3. A lot of people were waiting for it. And of course, the comment of the day. So let's talk about it all coming up next. Thank you to those of you who are watching me live on Patreon. Thank you for supporting the show. If you want to be able to watch me live, to watch the extra segment that I do every day here called The Extra Mile, please go to patreon.com/E4Electric and join this community here. And of course, if this is your first time here, well, welcome. If you want to stay up to date on everything's going on in the world of electric cars right now, a lot of drama, unfortunately, but still very exciting. Well, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. It's right there. It's free. That way you won't miss anything moving forward. All right, let's talk about this. So I did a video yesterday going over the entire complaint, and here's the paper I had to read. I think it was like 25 pages. So I'm going to post the link over there in the top corner. That's where I just kind of go everything for you, pull out all the quotes and all the tweets that they're referring to, and that way you kind of understand what it is that they are claiming and why. It does look pretty serious. The statement that they've essentially makes that Musk knew or was reckless in not knowing that his statements were false and misleading. But again, watch that video if you want to do that. Now, Elon Musk also put out this statement calling the actions by SEC unjust. But everything, of course, started with this tweet that we at this point got to know pretty well. However, they're claiming there are 4 other tweets that also violated regulations and misled investors. But today there's a report that they had a deal with Elon Musk because what they're claiming now, they want a fine. They want him to be basically removed and never be able to serve as an officer of any corporation, and a couple of other things that are pretty harsh. Now, the deal on the table, this was a nominal fee, meaning like not a big deal. He would not have to admit any type of guilt, but he would not be able to serve as a chairman for a couple of years. Still would be able to serve as the CEO, and Tesla would have had to add 2 independent directors to their board. It looked like Elon agreed to that, but he decided to pull out the last second. He said that would not be. He just felt uncomfortable with it because he wouldn't be truthful to himself. Now, I got to tell you, again, just by reading the complaint, this was not a bad deal for him. This was not a bad deal for him at all, because I don't really see, first of all, I don't see how he's going to win this case. There are quite a few things there that are just damning. And it's basically his tweet versus his statement that are basically conflicting with each other, and thus showing, if not intent, then the recklessness behavior of misleading investors. And this is just me reading the complaint. So I don't see how he's going to win this. So if he's going to lose, which I in one way or another, I believe he will, the punishment is very harsh. At the same time, a lot of people believe that maybe he is better off. And I actually kind of agree that maybe he's better off running the company as an innovator, chief engineer, and so forth. He can still be the frontman for the company. It's just someone else would be the CEO and doing all of that boring stuff. I think a lot of people would be much more comfortable with that. I think this would be good for him. I think this would be good for the company. However, the deal that they proposed to him was not bad at all, because it was very almost slap on the hand. Yeah, he doesn't get to be chairman, but the thing is, most of the directors on the board are his buddies anyway, including his brother. So I don't think that would be a big deal for him, and not much to lose, at least if you ask me. Now, the board also issued a statement today saying Tesla and the board of directors are fully confident in Elon. It's funny how they just call him by name in an official statement. You know, our buddy Elon, his integrity and his leadership of the company. So they're definitely sticking by him, which is what is expected from them. And of course, the stock price have really suffered. I mean, at the time of me doing this video, it fell almost $45, almost 15%. A lot of investors and a lot of analysts are basically saying that, hey, everyone's been paying a pretty big premium on, having Elon as the celebrity. If he's no longer there, then, we're going to go ahead and lower expectations on the price. I don't know. I got to tell you, I think this could just be good for investors because it will be more of a stable company if someone else takes over as the CEO. But we'll see. It will probably play out in the next few days. And once the stock price settles, I think that would be the real reaction of the market, because the market likes to overreact. So like a 5-year-old. Well, so this is the reaction to that. All right, let's talk about some positive news for Tesla. Again, this would have been the headline. Before that, of course, I want to remind you that this show and this channel is sponsored by Evanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. There's a discount code in the description of this video. All right, so let's talk about Model 3. They're actually hard at work right now trying to produce them. And per electric.co, that they're saying that their inside source is reporting that Tesla is already was able to meet their goal. Their guidance was between 50,000 to 55,000 of Model 3s made and delivered, I believe. And they've already produced 51,000. So I believe this is about the production. And for the first time since back in at the end of June 30th, they were able to hit 5,000 cars per week rate. As you know, they were not able to hit that ever since then. So this is the second week in the last 3 months that they're able to do that, and therefore they were able to meet these numbers. This is great news. This is really good news. This is what would have gotten the stock up, and obviously their financial situation would have been. Everybody expects to, that they will report one of their best quarterly reports. Whether or not they're going to be profitable, we'll see, but they will definitely be very close to that. This is going to be yet another record deliveries, and this would have been great news. The stock would have been up, I'm assuming, and yet that is not going to happen, unfortunately, because of all of the other news. All right, let's move on to BMW i3, the car that I never liked, mainly because of the way it looks. However, a lot of people do. They sold a lot of them, and people love them. And now they finally announced that they're officially releasing the bigger battery that you can get for the car. Currently, it has about 114 miles. You can get a gas extender, so technically it's the, it's the best plug-in hybrid you can get with the longest range. They're upping the battery to about 42 kilowatt hour, and they're claiming that now it's going to go about 160 miles. Now, even if that's true, it's still way under everybody else. Everybody's already figured out how to get their cars going over 200 miles. Even Nissan's supposed to come out with this next year. But then when I looked at the way they were comparing different specs, on sort of how to measure the range on different systems, I did not get 160 miles based on that. I got 137 miles. So we'll wait for the EPA, but essentially I'm not really sure if they're going to get to 160. But again, 160, still very low. And again, I just don't like how this car looks like a compliance car. So that's that. By the way, tomorrow, don't forget to tune in. I have an interview. Now, can I propose something? Paul Entwistle, he's the head of communication of Ionity. Ionity, I believe, is one of the most important companies. And if there's any... I'm sorry about that. So this interview is with Paul Entwistle, I believe, the head of communications of Ionity. I believe they're one of the most important companies because they are the ones who are building out the realistic fast charging network in Europe. Here in the US, we have Electrify America. That's where all non-Tesla cars are pretty much going to be relying on that network to be able to fast charge and travel throughout the Europe. So pretty good interview, pretty fast flowing. He's a cool guy. We had some laughs. So check it out. It's coming out tomorrow. But right now, let's move on to the comment of the day. And of course, it has something to do with all the drama that's going on between Elon Musk and Securities and Exchange Commission. And Kent Hanna says Tesla down 36 bucks. Elon is the short's best friend. And I kind of read it and I was like, crap. It's actually, he's right. I mean, as you know, throughout the document that I was reading, the complaint from SEC, and not that Elon was ever hiding it, you know, his frustration was mainly with shorts, people kind of betting against his company, and that's why he wanted to take it private. I totally share his frustration, but at the same time, at the end of the day, he ends up helping the very people that were originally after him, that he was trying to kind of get rid of. And now look, you know, they're super happy because the stock price has just fallen so much and might fall again. So yes, unfortunately that comment is sad but true. I can't agree with you more. Let me know in the comment section what you think about all of this. This is obviously it's going to be a hot topic for a while. Again, check out the interview with Ionity. Tomorrow on Monday, I will actually stream live from Mountain View from the Silicon Valley Reinvents the Wheel event. There should be a couple of concepts actually. I think Byton might be there as well. So I'll stream live from there and then back to the studio on Tuesday. All right, guys, it's been another fun week. You know, of course, check out my weekend videos. Other than that, see you on Tuesday. And of course, remember to stay charged.